to 100 yards of football. And tonight is our legend segment. And ladies, tonight we got a true Delray Beach legend, a guy that I'm proud of. He's a new coach of Atlantic High School, the great Atlantic High School, former player, Coach Jamelle Murray. Jamelle, welcome to the show, man.
How you doing? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you again.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Hey, listen, man, I got a lot I want to talk to you about. But I like to start from the beginning, right? I know your
Correct.
dad, and so I know your dad. But I want to talk about your journey as a kid with the game of football. Tell me how you started. I'm quite sure you got started with the Delray Rocks.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about
I got started with Delray Rocks.
Okay.
Yeah. I got started with Delray Rocks. As first as almost a mascot. Just for watching my older brother play. Yeah, mascot. Just
Okay.
watching, just being a part of the program, and that really told me
Wow.
that I really wanted to play for Atlanta. Play in the city of Delray Beach, and I started beginning to love the
Absolutely.
game of football.
Hey, awesome, man. I tell you what, it's something about the city, right? It's the culture. Football is the culture, right? And I don't know what
It
side of
is.
town you grew up in Delray. When I was a kid, Carter Park, we had Frog Alley, we had the guys who call
Yeah.
themselves the City Boys, the guys on Southwest 6th Avenue, right? and
Right.
then Jefferson Manor, and so we had all these different places, guys playing ball. So what side of Delray that you grew up on?
Earlier parts of elementary, middle school, I grew up on the south side of Delray,
Okay,
10th Avenue,
all
and
right.
then once I entered middle school, I ended up living on the north side. So I get best of both worlds a little bit. So I grew up on the back half of my early childhood near Pompey Park. So that was always a good experience with the field right there.
Oh, absolutely. I was the same way because all of my relatives lived on the north side of Delray. I lived on
Right.
Southwest 12th Avenue. And so I got a
Okay.
chance to play on that side and then mingle with the guys on the north side. And when I went on the north side, I played with older kids, right? And so that's where I learned my
Correct.
toughness from. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
it was a great childhood, man. So now you started playing with the Delray Rocks. What position did you play?
I played running back. Running back and safety was my first two positions that I
Okay.
played. It was good. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot from my coaches then, but I also learned a little bit to being humble. With Derrick Rocks, it was you had to play behind some ball players, and you understood that. So I
You
took
got
that
to.
in from the
That's
first
right.
beginning. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think all of our stories are pretty similar, right? Especially with the Rocks.
Correct.
Let me say this. Let me say this, Coach. When I interview guys for this show, especially the old guys who didn't have the Delray Rocks, they
Yes.
had to play high school ball. They started like in the 8th grade. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they never got a chance to play, but they were 11th and 12th graders. And so by the
Right.
time they became juniors and seniors, it was their turn, right? And so they got
Correct.
smashed. They got smashed, man. They got tough. They grew up, and then they became these great ballers, right? And
Correct.
so let me ask you this, then. So as a kid, when you was playing for Rocks, matter of fact, well, let me ask you this: who were some of the guys who coached you, who that you still think about today, who gave you some good life lessons?
My coach, Coach Wimp, was a good guy. Coached a lot of them defense. Uh, Coach Fair was
Okay.
his official name. Coach Gerald Lewis was really good, offensive minded coach that kind of taught us the game a
Okay.
lot at a young age.
Right.
Also, we
Mm-hmm.
had Coach Jeff. My first year was a big tough coach, so he put a lot of instill into us. The
Right.
'95 crew, and of course, I can't forget Coach Walt, Coach Bump. Those guys did a lot for us and taught us the game and how to be young men as well. So those coaches stood out to me. Definitely Coach Walt and Coach Bump. And Coach Eric Davis as well, too. He taught me a lot, yeah.
So, Coach Eric, was you?
Yes, Coach Eric coached me on Derrick Rock, the 120 pound.
So
He was
Jamelle,
our coach there.
coach you?
Can you hear me?
We kind of lost him there.
Hello? Hello?
Well, anyway, it's amazing,
And it's
right? When we
like,
start talking about the Delray Rocks, I mean, we
Right.
got a strong tradition. And the thing about Delray, we have so many players, y'all. If you watch this show, if you've seen this show before, we're so deep, especially in the skill positions. And so you're gonna have to wait your turn, right? You're gonna have to wait your turn. Sometimes guys play earlier. That don't happen a lot, right? But
Hello?
great just got to play. Okay, you're back with us. So
Yeah, I'm back. Can you
we're
hear me?
talking about. I got you now. I got you. So
Okay.
so when we talk about the long line, all right, the long line, the athletes that you played with that were in your class. Name some of those
Correct.
guys that you played with.
Brandon Flowers was another guy I
Oh, okay.
played with. Brandon Flowers, Preston Parker, Brandon Owens. They were
Oh,
both good athletes I played with.
okay.
Yeah. Steve
So
Allen,
you played with some
Adrian
dogs.
Graham. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, they roughed me up a little bit.
You in the fire.
Yeah, they roughed me up a
You
little
in
bit. It
the
was good though. It
fire.
was good. I learned.
Hey man, you know it's amazing, right? And I know in Delray, we're all good football players and we're prideful. And
Correct.
you know, and just waiting for your opportunities to shine, right? But you got this long
Right.
line. You're not gonna get a whole bunch of opportunities, but when you get them, you know. So you played wide receiver in high school, correct?
I
Slot
did.
receiver
I did.
and safety. Okay. And you got a scholarship to go where?
To Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo.
All right. So let me ask you this question,
Yeah.
bro. I ask you this question. So when you go up there and when November came around, what was that like for you?
Excuse me, it messed up. It was a little choppy. I'm sorry.
I said when you were up there in school for the first fall and November came
Yes.
around, what was that like for you?
It was different. It was different. The cold weather, it began to snow, having to layer up, going to practice in the games. It was pretty different. Definitely had to get accustomed to it, but it wasn't it was just another obstacle I feel like I was used to and prepared for playing ball down here. We always see different obstacles and whether it's competition
Right,
or
right.
atmosphere. So I was ready for it mentally. I just had to get a little bit adjusted to it physically.
Right, right. Well, you know,
Right.
I got a crazy story. My senior year in high school, I went up to visit Michigan State with Johnny Haynes. I don't know if you know Johnny Haynes.
Yeah, I know
Johnny
Coach Johnny.
Preston Williams, Van Williams. We all went up there from
Yes.
Delray on a recruiting trip. You know, we all played rock ball together. They played at Boca. Of course, I played at Atlanta. Man, we got
Correct.
there. It was the first time I ever seen snow in my life. It was January. We were on a trip in January. And the only coat I had, man, to take with me was my high school Letterman jacket. I ain't have no jacket, right?
Right.
Bruh, I
Right.
went up there, man, and boy, them coaches was trying to sell us, man. You know, we can sit 100,000. I'm not let me see that white snow. I go, ain't no way. Ain't no way I can play this white snow, bro. So when I came back from the trip, I told my mom, I know what I want to do. I'm not taking another trip. It's a wrap. But you know, those guys, Johnny, Van, they went up there and played, man, and did well for themselves at Michigan State.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, it was just cold. But you're right, though. It's just another obstacle you got to play. In a game of football, I tell kids all the time, especially in the South, if you want to play this game, the outdoors has got to be your best friend. I mean, when the sun
Of
is
course.
hot, we still gonna play. We're not gonna cancel the game because it's 90 degrees. You know, the
Correct.
only time we cancel the game unless it's lightning. I say so. In
Right.
any other weather, you got to get used to it. You got to acclimate yourself, but get your mind right first because you know
Correct.
that's the
Mentally
thing
right.
that's gonna go right. So you got to get that mental right. So
Yes, sir.
you have good career in college.
I had
How,
it was okay. My career in college, it was okay. It was a little short lived due to medical issue. I redshirted my freshman year, got
okay.
acclimated and started learning the game. I actually put on a couple pounds, put on about 25 pounds. I went
Wow.
at 150 and came out and made it to 175 that next year. So that helped me.
All
And
right.
then I played my
That's good.
freshman year. Redshirt freshman year,
Right.
got to score the touchdown, got acclimated, getting into the return game, and I ended up getting diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a form of cancer. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Wow.
that sidetracked me a little bit. And from
Mm-hmm.
that point, I kind of knew I started to value life a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And I always, when everyone said you need a plan B, that kind of kicked in, and I started to understand that and made me aware of and appreciate life a little bit more of everything that I had around me.
Right.
And I think that's the
Right.
portion that got me into coaching. I think the coaches,
Mm-hmm.
once I returned back from chemo and everything,
Mm-hmm.
the coach was a little
Mm-hmm.
weary of allowing me to play still. So I just took the mental aspect of it, kept learning the game and helping my
Right. Right.
teammates in order to be successful as well. So that kind of transitioned me into wanting to be a coach and also identify that I'm here to help others.
Right. The reason you say that, because when I was a kid, I could only think of one thing, right? Was just
Right.
playing the game. But if
Correct.
you just look at it, if you just look at it though, Jamelle, it just don't make sense because at a young age, you're not going to be playing the game no more. Yeah, I don't care how long a career you have in the NFL, you're still going to be a young man when you stop playing.
Correct.
And so what's the second best thing to playing? It's coaching, right?
That's true.
It's leading and directing young men, right? And helping
Yes, sir.
them, with opportunities in their own life and speaking to their lives and grooming and creating men, right? And so
Yes,
there's
sir.
nothing like that. But I couldn't get that part of it at that time, right? Because all I
Right.
can think about was playing, right? And then one day I got that
Correct.
call. All right, Bobby, we're going in another direction now. We thank you for your service.
Right.
So I've been a long time, but yet and still, even at that time, man, I wasn't ready to part from it. But
Correct.
I started doing youth football camps, and me and another teammate, we started doing that years ago, and we're still going. We started this company in 2020. I just got back
Right.
last week. I was in Montana last week doing football camps.
That's
I
great.
love,
That's
I love,
great.
I love that. I love that. A team, but I'm still instilling kids values because it's not just about football; it's about character.
Correct.
How can I
Correct.
help you succeed in life, even if you're not a football player? So I don't care what you
Correct.
do in life. There's some principles that you need in your life to help you become successful. And so we talk about those things. And man, I tell you, every time I leave a camp, I feel good. I feel good about it.
Right.
So
Right.
let's talk about Atlantic High football, man. All right. So you just got the job this year.
Yes, sir.
Now you've been on the staff for a while, correct?
Yeah, I've been on the staff for a while since I returned back from school. So this is going on my 12th year.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been around. So all right, cool.
Yeah.
So do you have a different coaching staff or pretty much the same guys that were there?
It's pretty much the same coaching staff. I added a few former players that we had that have been successful in the college ranks, and that I feel and that I'm going to help try to get them to that next level of college coaching because they're still younger guys as well. But we're blessed to have those guys.
Exactly.
So I added those 3 extra young coaches to that staff.
That's good, man. That's good. So as a head coach, are you gonna do any play calling, defensive side, offensive side, or are you just gonna manage everything?
Currently, I'm just going to manage everything. Like I said, I've worked with those guys in the past, and I just think managing them, getting an understanding of what expectations are, what we're trying to accomplish with the season, with the system that we're going to implement. That's pretty much what I'm focusing on. They're great coaches. We hit clinics together. We're always learning and passing knowledge about the game. So it's there. And I just feel with me being able to manage and what I'm trying to accomplish for our kids and our community, the coaches can do it. So I feel with my leadership, we'll make it happen and be successful.
That's good. That's good. Because, one of the things, I don't know as a kid for you, the feelings you had about Delray. But I know for me, I was growing up in an era doing segregation, right? And so we had the great Carver High School. I know you heard those Carver High stories, right?
Yes,
And
sir. I
so,
have.
when they allowed when they allowed the black schools to play in the state tournament, with the white schools, Carver High won
Right.
back-to-back state titles, right? And so I was a little kid watching that, man, watching this dude. He my hero this day. I love this guy, Anthony Penn, right? And so
Right.
I want to be him in every way, you know. And
Correct.
so I will go out and try to mimic him. And I got pretty decent at playing quarterback. A lot of people don't know I played quarterback in high
Okay, I didn't know that one.
school. Oh, bro, you better ask somebody. Yeah,
I
hey,
will. I will.
call your
I didn't
dad.
know that one.
I want you to call your dad tonight and ask him.
Okay.
Say, Dad, tell me about Bobby Butler playing quarterback. Just ask him that tonight,
Okay.
right? So
I will.
that
I
was my
will.
deal. That was my deal. And so I wanted to be like Anthony Penn. And so when I got
Correct.
to Atlantic, my freshman year, Atlantic was 14-0. I mean, I didn't play varsity, but they were 14-0, and we lost the state championship game to Haines City, right?
Right.
And then my junior year, when I became the starting quarterback, I went to back-to-back state title games and lost them both. We lost to Ocala Forest by 3, and then we lost to Panama City Bay High by 1 point. And then when I left, I forget what the class was, but they played Milton High School and lost against Milton. Gus Burgess was the star on that team when they lost to Milton. And then I got a chance to see you guys play against, is it St. Philip's in Orlando?
Dr. Phillips, yep. Dr. Phillips.
Dr. Phillips. I was at that game because I was thinking this is gonna be it. This is gonna be it, right? And so we're still striving for that. Do you feel that the kids, are they driven by winning? What's the mindset that you think your kids have and the coaching staff?
I think it's being driven by, yes, the mindset of winning, of course, but we're just trying to build it up. We're just doing it for one another, and just doing it for their brother or their sister or their family in the community. Just doing it for our city of Delray. Like you talk about, we have a lot of pride in our city, so that's the main piece. What I'm pushing, and we're trying to identify our culture. And our mantra is culture wins. So we can keep that building, and that the right culture, the right results will come from that. So
man, you got that.
That's what drives us.
Yeah, I tell you what, you said that right, because man, it's all about that culture. It's amazing. When I was in high school, man, we had some great coaches, right? And we had some dogs too. Now we had some players, right? And so,
yes, sir.
And one day in practice, I was a junior, early in the season, and we were running wind sprints at the end of practice. And after we got finished with practice, the coach told everybody to go in the locker room. But he said, Bobby, I want to talk to you. So I stayed down. He said, let me ask you a question. He said, are you the fastest kid on the team? I started laughing, right? I was like, you don't know? So he said this to me, well, if you are, how come you in the middle of the pack when we're running wind sprints? And then he followed up with this question. He said, are you my quarterback? Now that kind of hurt me right there, right? It did. It kind of hurt me. And so, yeah, coach, I said, I'm your quarterback. He said, well, I'll tell you right now. He said, if you lead out front, if you do everything out front, your teammates will follow you everywhere you go. That right there changed my life as a player. From that point on, Jamelle, I was never the end of the line. I was never the end of the pack. All through college, all through the rest of my high school career, through college, through the NFL, I was always at the front, leading by example, putting in the work, right? And so when the team see your leaders out front, in line with the coaching staff, things change quick. They change quick. So you got a pretty good quarterback there.
We do. We do.
Yeah. He's a humble young man. I got a chance to meet him last year. He's a very humble young man. I like him. I really like him. Yes. And so he'll be a junior this season?
He'll be a junior this season. Yeah.
Man.
It's a good problem.
Oh, he gonna be, huh?
It's a good problem to
That's
have. A nice junior.
That's a good problem to have, right? That's a great problem to have. Well, man, that's good because I always believe this: if you got a quarterback, you can make some things happen. You can make some things happen. And I don't know the kids no more, Coach, but I know one thing about Delray Beach. I know one thing about Delray. We got athletes.
We do.
We got athletes. So when somebody called me and say, well, such and such did this in the game, I said, I don't know that kid. I said, who is dad and who is mom and daddy?
Right.
That's what I do. Who is parents? Tell me about his parents. I may know them, right? And so we have athletes in our hometown. And so we just got to bring them together. If they get on the same page, y'all gonna do some great things. Y'all gonna do some great things. Correct. Man, I'm excited for you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this right now. When is your first home game this year? You know,
our first home game is next Thursday, August 17th.
August?
Palm Beach Central. August
okay.
17th.
When is your second home game?
Second home game, September the 7th. That may be a Thursday night.
Right. And then one time I was there thinking I was going to a game.
Really?
Friday, I'm getting ready. I'm finna leave West Palm Beach, driving to Delray to come to a game. And I called one of my buddies and said, you going to the game tonight? He said, what game? I said, Atlantic High game. He said, man, they played that game last night. I go, man, you got to be kidding me. I was getting dressed.
Yeah. We have to switch up and have some Thursday night scheduling just due to the shortage of referees. So they switch it up. But I'll make sure you'll have an accurate schedule.
Yeah. Do that, because I'm definitely going to come and check you guys out, man. And
we'll love to get a chance to speak to the. That'll be great.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
I would love to be down there and support you guys, man, because my heart bleeds Delray, man.
Of course, we all do.
When I left Delray in 1977, that's when I went to college.
Right.
All my about there, every one of them, because I'm like, we got to recruit more guys from down here. If we're gonna do this thing, we need more guys from Delray. I would tell them that all the time, right? And then when I got in the league, I would tell them, right? And so, man, we need to get some guys from Palm Beach County up in here, man.
Of course, of course.
Hey, so when I was in high school, here are some of the guys that I played against and were in the same conference with me, right? So when I was at Atlantic, we opened up with Glade Central. We opened up with Glade Central every year. That was the season opener. The second week we played Pahokee back to back every year I was in high school, right? So of course we win those two games, we're gone. Well, we never lost those. We never lost those two games, right? So, but we had a guy named. Do you remember a guy named O.J. Anderson?
I do.
The Giants, played for University. Well, Juice played for Forest Hill High School. He was 2 years ahead of me, but I was a little sophomore playing safety, 130 pounds, playing safety when he was running the ball. And then Carlos Carson played for John R. Leonard. He went to the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's in the Ring of Honor for the Chiefs. And then you had, of course, Ricky Jackson, NFL Hall of Famer from Pahokee.
Right.
They called a receiver from Suncoast, right? So we all played against each other in high school, man. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of great competition, man. It was great competition. And
so
we had a lot
of good group.
Man, that's a good group. I call us the Power Five back in the the Power
Definitely
Five.
A Power Five. Definitely Power Five.
No doubt, man. Well, man, I'm glad, man, I got a chance to speak with you. Let's stay in touch, man. Let's stay in touch. Keep me up on what's going on in Delray. Keep up what's going on. And like I say, I'm in and out of there. Sometimes I come in and then I get out, but I'm coming to a game, and I may come to a couple games. So you give me the schedule, and I'll make it happen for real, right?
Okay, I'll do that.
So look,
we have a kid going to Florida State as well on our team, Jaden Parrish.
I saw that. I need to meet. I got to meet that kid. You got to introduce me to that kid.
Will do.
Now what does he play? Linebacker? What does he play?
Middle
Linebacker?
linebacker. Yeah, and running back. We play him at
Yeah.
running back some too, but he's a Mike backer for sure.
Okay. Now, when I was in school, in my opinion now, and I haven't seen every player that played for Delray, but there were two great middle linebackers in Delray when I was a kid. And both of them. I'm going to say the greatest is Randy Strong. All right?
Yeah.
Randy Strong, Zach Trudeau. You know Randy Strong, right?
I do.
Ask your dad about him. And then the other guy, he was a year younger than me. His birth name was Charles Ferguson, but everybody now know him as Prince. Bruh.
Yeah.
Prince Arafat came to Florida State a year after me.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh. He made it happen. He came there as a freshman and was a freshman All-American. Day one. And then, his life kind of messed up on him, and, he went the way he went.
Right.
And everybody knows his story. Everybody knows his story, but, man, he's a great dude, man. He's a great player. Probably
he is.
Out of all the ball players that I played with in my life, I want you to hear this now. I played with a lot of great football players.
Mm-hmm.
But there were two players that I played with that I always say they are the greatest football players. Now, when I say that, a lot of people will say, oh, you're talking about Deion Sanders. No, he's not one of the greatest football players. Now, when I say great football player, I identify that person as a person who, whatever he does, he's the best person on the field doing that. So Charles Ferguson, Prince Arafat, quarterback, you couldn't stop him.
Right.
He played when he was with the Rocks. He played cornerback, and he was amazing to see him play corner. It was just amazing. It was a work of art to see him play corner. And then, of course, he got in high school, he played middle linebacker. And man, that dude was sideline to sideline, inside out. I mean, it was crazy.
Right.
He was one of the best football players. So him and a guy played in Atlanta, great football players. Whatever they put their hand to, they do it, and they do it well. They do it with the best of them. So look, man, God bless you, man. Thank you for your time today. I know you have a long day out there.
Likewise.
Man, get those kids right, man. We're proud of you. We're proud of the program.
Will do.
And we wish you the best, because we want to see Delray be the best. You know that. And so we're with you. So listen, man, God bless you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you like the show tonight, share it with your friends. Comment. I'm your host, Bobby Butler. And tonight, we had the new Atlantic High football coach, Coach Jamelle Murray. Coach, thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Blessings, and continue to being great as well.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.